Hey, everybody. Well, sorry for the delay there. Once again, we had some unanticipated technical difficulties, but we're here now, and we are going to be watching some Deep Space Nine. But before we get to that, Dana, how are you, my dear?
Everybody, and hi, Mr. Shives.
Do you want to talk about what this is all about?
So I was inspired recently by the frickin' Wall Street Journal. So I made a little video, and I'm not gonna say anything more about it just yet because I want you to watch this one.
Duralta Trekkie gets it.
Potato. I mean, why not both?
Why not? Why are they mutually exclusive?
Exactly. So yeah, I got to have a little bit of fun. Plus, I mean, ponytails are just fun, but my hair is like super long, so I doubled them over, and then I still had some extra. So I was just like, okay, this is how it's gonna be.
I actually think it looks better that way. I mean,
Then what?
Then like a traditional Harley like pigtail look. Like I think having the extra little bits hang down there looks more appropriate for the character.
And it's just sort of hair everywhere,
Yeah.
and slightly crazy.
Exactly.
Yes, Dr. Holleen Quinzel, I will have you know. An actual doctor.
An actual doctor.
Don't you forget about it, neither.
I love it.
It's been lots of fun.
Yeah, and the video
Steve,
is.
do not let me forget, because that's my superpower. It's forgetting stuff. I'm gonna forget.
What am I gonna not let you forget?
But tell them about the video.
Oh yes.
I have the link. Like, it's all ready.
So we're gonna wait till after we get done Deep Space Nine. Okay.
Yes.
All right. You heard that, everybody. Stay tuned for once the live watch is over.
Oh, just wait until you get through like years and years of fan fiction. Mr. J is gonna die, and I'm the one what kills him.
Spoilers.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Oh well, they know it now.
Well, they ought to see it coming, because goodness knows he deserves it.
God damn it. He's not a nice man. He's not an overly
really
nice man.
Not.
No, not really.
Honestly, I deserve better.
Yes, you do, Harley. Yes, you do. God damn it.
To all the folks out there that is in bad relationships, it can get better. You deserve better than that.
All you have to do is kill the person you're with. No, don't. That's not.
Well, I mean, some folks just need it.
If you can get away with
Some
it.
random geek. I totally did. And you know what you know who the star of that movie was? It was the sandwich. Let me tell you, that is an amazing sandwich. If you ain't never had one, you ought to try it. There's recipes online.
Okay, now, Harley, are you ready to watch Deep
Yes.
Space Nine? Are you going to be in character the whole time?
I don't know. Maybe I should.
You'll kind of, it'll be like kind of, you'll sort of phase in and out.
Poison Ivy. Now that is one, and she's a doctor too. She's a scientist. But does she get called doctor by anybody other than yours truly? I don't think so.
No respect.
No respect.
No respect.
Some random geek, you also need to try the sandwich. Although, if you're vegetarian or vegan, you might have to make some substitutions. I'm sure that you'll be able to figure something out.
Or I could just have it on one of my cheat days.
Or no, I was talking to some random geek.
Yeah.
Not to
Well,
you,
I know.
Mr.
You said if somebody. I know you weren't specifically talking about me. I know the world doesn't revolve around me. Unfortunately.
Ain't that the truth? You men. Goodness.
Bullshit. Such bullshit. All right, so we are watching as some random geek has just.
I've actually got it on DVD. Sorry, Steve, I interrupted you.
No,
again.
it's fine.
But
It's
you should
fine.
be used to that by now.
I am after what 22 years. I think I'm used to it. So as some random geek just pointed out in the live chat, we are watching Deep Space Nine tonight. We are watching. If you're watching with us on Netflix, which is where Dana and I are watching it, it is episode 2 of season 1. Although, according to the production order, according to the original air date order. It's actually episode 3, but whether it's episode 2 or episode 3, the episode we're watching is A Man Alone. So that's the episode you want. A Man Alone from Deep Space Nine's first season. It's either episode 2 or episode 3, depending on what service you're watching it on. And of course, we're going to start from the very beginning at 0000. And I will, as usual, give you a countdown. 3, 2, 1, play to play. And then when we get to a commercial break, I'll do 3, 2, 1, pause, and we'll talk about what just happened, and then we'll work our way through the episode. So everybody get your copy of A Man Alone queued up at 0000. Get ready to go. Dana, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? You ready to return to Deep Space Nine?
I'm ready with the space and the space dad and the space kid.
Yeah, so see, and you say you forget things.
I do forget things. Not all things, though.
You do manage to remember.
You got to keep it interesting.
You do
Who
manage.
knows what's going to be forgotten next time, or what's going to be remembered? We don't know. Let's find out.
You managed to remember the basic premise of the show we're watching, which I appreciate. I think it's good.
It's in space.
It's in space, deep
And there's
space.
stars. It's in the title.
I mean, technically, it's not much of a trek.
Look, Steve, we started late. Maybe we
okay.
should actually get started.
All right. Hey, you're the doctor. All right, everybody, get ready to play. I'm going to count you in. Here we go.
Woohoo.
Starting Deep Space Nine, A Man Alone, in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, the rhythm of their steps, sure.
Or just the pretentious kind of cologne that they wear. I bet he wears a pretentious kind of cologne.
Dr. Bashir, you think so? Oh, this is a crappy special effect.
Oh my goodness gracious. Stop trying so hard. Just stay there while I go away.
Yeah, bye.
Oh.
I've heard that before.
Oh, he ain't getting nowhere with this.
Oh, yeah, release it to me, baby. Focus on the giant gasoline bubble. Oh, it's gone.
She said, sorry, no.
Cock blocked by the commander.
Oh, not really. I mean, she wasn't interested anyhow.
That's true. That's true. He didn't need to be.
Loretta, I think it was more disinterest zoned. Is that a thing?
Apathy zoned. Benjamin Lafayette cockblock Cisco.
All the pretty colors, Loretta. Obviously, it's a soap bubble.
Some random geek is Bashir a man alone? Yes, he is at this point. Oh, you think the episode's going to be about him? It's not.
And he totally deserves to be.
These credits give everybody a chance to relax, center yourself, enjoy the nice calming music.
And to wait impatiently for something to actually happen.
You're going to read everybody's name and you're going to take your time doing it.
Blah, de blah, de blah. That's okay though. It spins very, very
Yes,
slowly.
it does. Throughout to Trekkie in the chat says Bashir in the holosuite. That's the whole episode. Wouldn't that be some? And it's like it's not even eventful. He's just hanging out in the holosuite playing a game badly. You know, Darren, actually, I mean, I think the intro to this, of course, intros to shows generally today are a lot shorter for the most part, but I think the intro to this isn't any longer than the intro to TNG. It just feels longer because the music is much more slower paced.
And also, there's a whole lot of nothing in the intro. Like, we're not getting any info. There you go. Chris Kringle, I absolutely agree with that.
A man alone.
No voiceover.
No voiceover.
No, previously on Deep Space Nine. You should totally hire me to do that. Of course, it went off the air like decades ago, but that's okay.
Duralta Trekkie, yes, Terry Farrell is now married to Adam Nemore. She wasn't at the time this was made, but yes, she is. Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
That's not a grapevine. That's not what a grapevine means.
No,
That's
that's overhearing.
That's like observation.
That's overhearing somebody. That's not a grapevine.
That's like being unable to frickin' avoid it. I sense some bitterness, Mr. Odo.
Early Odo is interesting.
Oh, that's how that is that your diagnosis? Interesting.
Yeah. Well,
Mr.
because
Shives.
he has character traits that he loses relatively quickly, like this misogynistic little rant about marriage. Yeah.
I don't think it's misogynistic because she's the one who's complaining. And I think it's just, personal experience.
Well,
There may be misogyny there as well, but in particular, he's just complaining because that was his perception of the experience. He didn't get what he wanted. Wah. He's thinking about it.
yeah, CLO626 in the chat. Haha, women are overbearing and always get their way. Am I right, guys? Exactly. That's what Odo was going on about. Just
No,
exactly.
but like there was, I mean, that's literally what they were observing. She wasn't getting her way.
Yeah.
She was the one who was. It's more equitable. He's just the one complaining because he didn't get his way.
Incessantly. God, please don't.
He enunciates very well.
Yes, he does. Acting. What are we, British?
Some random geek, most likely.
In another life.
Oh, you say that now.
We'll be friends forever.
Kris Kringle are still immortal, or just like really, really long lived?
I don't think it's ever established that they're immortal, but they live for a really super long time because the symbiont
Because
can
of the
be passed from
switchy
host to host. Yeah. So technically, the hosts live a relatively normal lifespan, but the symbiont lives on and on and on and on.
Ooh. Azalea, I like that. Ultra mortal.
Yeah. I'm the law around here.
Dun dun dun.
He should have checked with me.
"26 is a very specific number.
26 is the length of the day on the station. I think it's the length of the day on Bajor, which is why.
Okay.
I think. Boring.
Oh. Oh. Azalea, it's our hour.
Good old-fashioned Earth hours. That's what. You know what this space station needs? A plant. I didn't want to raise my daughter at all. You said you were on the pill.
I don't.
Are you still going to be like this when I get home
Kringle,
tonight?
that's terrible, and I love it. It's a power plant. Get it? Get it?
Because he's an engineer, see?
Da da da.
Nog. Eggnog. Seems like a nice guy.
But what do they know? Some random geek. I'm partial to rum myself.
Can so.
What a man can do and what a man can't do.
I am the law. That's not a very good impression, Darrell Trekkie. I apologize for that.
See, Corey, exactly. Good stuff. Yes.
I didn't know I'd have to follow rules when I took
And if
this
you get the one
job.
in the Kraken, it comes in a bottle with teeny tiny little handles. It's so cute. And very tasty.
That's him.
Oh my.
You want a happy ending?
Yes, they're Ultra Trekkie. Azalea, we're kind of watching now.
Yeah, we're almost to the first commercial break, Azalea. One side, I'll finish this massage.
Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, that's okay. 3, 2, 1, pause. And I'm paused at 32:16 remaining for folks who are watching along. 32:16 remaining on Netflix. So yeah, what do you think of Odo so far? Kind of a hard ass.
Not so much a hard ass as full of himself. I bet he gets along real good with Bashir.
You think?
Yeah, people who are full of themselves just love each other, don't they?
Yeah. And we also have a glimpse into the charming private lives of the O'Briens, Miles and Keiko, and Keiko apparently not having such a great time on Deep Space Nine so far.
She wants to be useful. Well, find something useful to do. Seriously. Why? And also, if she's a botanist, why isn't she on any of the ships that's going? Like, why not? Literally.
Good question. I think it's interesting that, again, we early on in the run of the show here, that they continue to try to differentiate themselves from TNG. Like, I don't know if you ever saw a recurring character, and certainly not a regular character on TNG, ever go through this kind of crisis where it's like, I don't want to be here. I don't have a purpose here. You know, I mean, I love the idea that, like, at this point early on in the show, this is a place that these people do not want to be. It's like the exact opposite of Captain Picard's Enterprise, which was like the dream assignment, you know?
Who's going to Bajor to study? I missed a bit.
Oh, Keiko. Darren is saying, why isn't she at least going to Bajor to study? Well, Darren, you're getting a little ahead of yourself. Give it about 4 or 5 seasons.
Oh, my.
And yeah, Chris Kringle, yeah, we see Keiko on TNG. That's where they got married. She was a recurring character on TNG before they moved to DS9.
Oh, Odo gets framed. So apparently that's not Odo.
We'll have to find out, won't we?
Celia?
Yeah, Chris Kringle. I think Keiko had a couple of notable episodes on TNG. She wasn't in a lot. I think she was only a recurring character for about 2 seasons before they jumped them over to DS9. But she had some notable episodes. The disaster episode where she had her baby is relatively well known because Molly delivers her baby.
I saw that one.
Yeah.
Because he's like, this is not how it is in practice, like with the computer doing
exactly.
it. She's like, I'm not a goddamn computer.
He's like reading the tricorder. He says, "You are dilated. You may now give birth." He's like, wait a minute, what? No, that's not the way it works, man.
She's like, thank you for your permission, Mr. Worf. Because he ain't a doctor.
He is not a doctor. No, it isn't. We do not have. Sadly, we never get Dr.
Although,
Worf.
according to Mr. Epstein, he could call himself a doctor because he delivered a baby.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Because that's
apparently.
If you can.
That's like.
Yeah.
Criteria.
If you can help out during a medical emergency, then you are a doctor, and that's it.
He mentions if you deliver a baby.
Okay.
So like. If you're a cardiologist, you're just out of luck.
So Tom Waits in that coffee and cigarettes short totally is a doctor because he talks about delivering a baby in a car on his way.
I'll take your word for it.
It's really funny. He just like offhandedly mentions. He's like, "Oh yeah. I'm a doctor." Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say.
Okay, shall we continue?
We can continue if you
All right.
like.
Well, I thank you very much, Harley Quinn, who is going to be with us for the whole show, apparently.
I apologize to anybody who don't like it. You can leave.
Yeah, you don't have to watch. It's fine. We're cool. All right, everybody, get ready to restart. Once again, I'm paused at 32:16 remaining on Netflix. It's right after the fade in. It's an establishing shot of the station after the commercial break.
Again, it's still spinning.
Just in case we forgot, that the show takes place on a space
It's
station.
in space.
Exactly. Okay, everybody get ready. Counting us in. 3, 2, 1, play. Are you giggling at Harley Quinn Medicine Woman? Yes. In the chat. That's
Celia,
funny.
have you seen Treasure Planet? It's got one of my favorite not a doctor lines ever. They're also Trekkie, amazing, or perhaps terrifying.
We need to CGI you into this show as Harley. That's what we need to do.
Absolutely.
Pleasure. No, Azalea, not Pleasure Planet.
That's a very different movie.
Way different movie. Way different movie.
The animated movie Treasure Planet. Piss off.
Julian, speaking of not always succeeding.
Or ever.
I've only drunk half the bottle. Keep it in mind.
Howell would be way better at flirting than Julian is. Gee, just about anyone would be better at flirting than Julian is. That's setting the bar really, really low.
It's not too high of a bar at this point for Bashir.
Oh, are you saying he improves? Because he couldn't get much worse, that's for sure.
Time for some comedy.
My closed captioning says they're both shuddering.
Yeah, mine too. Harley, quick, they need a doctor. As Joe says in the live chat, ha ha, assault.
And they get in trouble. As they should, the little punks.
Yeah, juvenile delinquents. I disapprove.
What would Batman say to that? To what? The embarrassed chuckle? I don't know.
Oh yeah, what would Batman say to what?
Very carefully.
I don't know, okay? I think this knife had something to do with it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of Jason-ish, ain't it? They're also Trekkie.
Yeah, I don't think Batman.
Can you imagine if he had two Jasons? Holy heck!
I don't think Batman would really care. Batman doesn't usually like concern himself with kids playing pranks unless he's having like a really bad, a really slow night. CJF, we are watching Deep Space Nine Season 1. The episode is A Man Alone.
A man above. Oh, Loretta, that's like they were talking about, Odo was talking about compromise earlier. Kind of compromise, though.
Why does he look at her like she...
Oh, God, an idea.
Why does he look at her like she's insane for suggesting that?
He's acting, Steve.
Yeah,
He's acting.
It was at my meeting of the Ray Wise Lookalikes Club.
He didn't seem afraid afraid of that earlier. Is that new hair? Did Kira get a haircut?
It's a little different, but it's between the pilot and the episode we watched last week and this one. It's a little bit different.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
there's the thing that I forgot, or at least one of them.
Oh. Thought he'd never leave. Check out that high-tech future technology.
Oh, they use Chicago.
The
That's how
computer,
you know it's a computer.
the futuristic computer with the screen of a graphing calculator.
Significant glance.
Odo, but that's me.
But I'm going to talk about it now.
$255 AD. Why are the ship's logs in English? Good question.
Well, the same reason that everybody talks in English.
Plot expediency.
We're all watching it through a universal translator.
That's right. That's right. There you go.
And it has a visual version too.
Boom.
What the? Training, for God's sakes.
Oh, I didn't think you'd go for it.
I'm going to have a few things to say at the next commercial break, let me tell you.
Oh boy, I can't wait. I can threaten them, but I can't force them. I'm just glad it's no longer my problem.
Yeah, CLO 626.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need specialized training to be a teacher at all.
You don't got to know what you're doing. I'm going to have another link, I think, at the end.
Oh boy.
It's a great trick.
It's one of those locked holosuite mysteries. I love those. Uh-oh. Okay. 3, 2, 1, pause. I'm paused at 23:40 remaining. Oh, yes. Keiko wants to be a teacher. And you have thoughts? Please, please, please. I cannot wait to hear what you think.
Children ranging in ages from 8 to 16.
Yes.
From different cultures.
Yep, that's right.
Of different species.
Indeed.
Now, in fairness, she said she's only got about a dozen of them.
Right.
Oh, Lord, what I do for a class with a dozen kids.
Oh, a dozen total. Not even just a class. Like she's teaching one class of a dozen kids.
Yeah, but she's got different preps.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she'll have
yeah.
to teach. And, oh yeah, let's not forget, she'll have to teach science, which she'll be okay at, presumably.
You would think.
Like biology, not just botany, but biology. History, mathematics, art, music, any sort of electives, languages,
Mm-hmm.
literature, writing, grammar. She still is a botanist.
She's a botanist,
I think.
yeah.
She
Yeah.
still is. And she's got no idea about no ideas about child development, no exposure to child development except for her own kid,
Right.
who is how old at this point?
Maybe 2 or 3. She's really young.
Yeah. So not a whole lot of experience with child development, particularly given different species and cultures. So sure. I'm sure it'll be just fine. And not only that, let's talk about dealing with parents. What's the parent going to do when the kid doesn't want to do the work? And Ms. Keiko says that this is not okay. And the kid's like, well, you can't make me. I'll just not come to school no more. I don't like doing work. What can go wrong, dear Alter Trekkie? A lot of things can go wrong. Let me tell you.
A lot.
Does she know how to motivate students who don't want to do no work? Does she know how to design instruction that is intrinsically motivating? Don't think so. 255 AD, you're absolutely right. One of the things that I used to do, haven't done recently. Maybe that's something I haven't. Maybe that's why 2020 sucked so much. One of the things that I do when I'm having a really, really bad week, day, month, year, is I read The Long Winter by Laura Ingalls Wilder, because that's the book where Laura becomes a teacher, and it absolutely sucks. It's terrible. She has a horrible time. And so I read that book about her going to school in the middle of a freezing blizzard, having to drag out the coal and start the stove in the school when nobody else is there. And the kids who just sit back and drag mud in, and she's boarding with somebody, a family who wants to kill each other. That's a really bad part too. Laura Ingalls, yeah.
Little House on
at
the
the
Prairie.
time she wasn't Wilder. At the time, when she was teaching, but when she wrote the book, she was Wilder.
Yeah.
So anyhow, it was really bad for her. And I read the books, and I'm like, you know what? Things sometimes are bad in my classroom, and I get behind the my grade, and it's frustrating when kids don't want to do the work, and they're like, you know what? I don't care if I pass or not. But I ain't never had to whip a kid, like literally. Or like even metaphorically.
You've metaphorically whipped kids.
No,
I know.
Yeah, it's CLO 626. It's a few books after that when she's a little bit older. So.
Yeah.
And Loretta, she ain't supposed to have wine at school. I don't know. I guess they got different laws in.
Odo don't care.
Out in space.
Odo don't care. He's like, let her do whatever she wants. Deralta Trekkie, that is a beautiful reference you just made. Because Melissa Gilbert, who played Laura Ingalls Wilder on the TV series of Little House on the Prairie, did indeed marry Bruce Boxleitner, who was Captain Sheridan on Babylon 5. So yes, that is
Yeah, I did. I
vaguely
followed that.
That is a quality pop culture reference right there.
Bill McClory, I will say that I have a student this semester, and one of his other teachers said, is he giving you any attitude? And I said, no, not so much. And they said, well, he's just been real disrespectful. And his mom says that she's had similar problems with him, and she's worried about him having trouble with women. I said, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm bigger than he is, and he knows I could take him. I mean, I ain't done nothing, but I'm not a small lady. So maybe that has something to do with it.
He's scared.
I'll tell you, the Yoda said size matters not, but I think he's wrong.
Well, it matters not if you're a
Jedi with
if you're a Jedi who can lift spaceships with your mind, and of course it doesn't matter to you.
You don't lift
Yoda.
them with your mind, genius. You lift it with the Force.
He went like that, and it lifted up. He was,
See, the Force.
The
not his
Force.
mind.
The Force.
Exactly.
For the Force is my ally, and the powerful ally it is.
255 AD, so they're doing independent study for everything except for freaking botany.
Trek Yards, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. Any
Some random geek, if only if only I could say that to my students. No, usually they fail because they didn't do the work.
The homework you did not do. That is why you fail.
The test you did not do. There's also that.
Your
The
work did you
attendance.
not?
Showing up you did not do.
Show
Welcome
up,
to
you-
2020.
Come to class you did not. That is why you fail.
We got a whole laundry list of reasons.
Yeah. All right. So do you have any more thoughts on
Oh yeah, it's
Well,
daycare. The parents are just like, you know what? I'm tired of having you around. Go over and visit Miss Keiko.
Yeah, I think you definitely get that impression. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe we will later. Let's find out.
Let's find out. Okay, shall we?
I'd say, Balak, that's true. The school, you know, she wants to feel useful. She ain't actually being useful because they don't actually need a school because everybody's already good at things. I mean, take Wesley, for example. He's just
That's
good
right.
at stuff. Why? Because he's there.
Because he's
The plot
smart.
demands it.
Because he's written that way. Well, CLO 626,
Fuzzy Bear.
that makes sense because they're both Frank Oz characters. So, I mean,
Nice rebuttal there, Mr. Shives.
I briefly considered trying to bust out a Fozzie, but I don't think I've ever done a Fozzie.
You'll have to practice.
I will. Yeah, I will.
All right, you ready to get back into it? Let me
Empire.
tell you, there's going to be more ranting about teaching ahead. I can tell. I can
Oh
tell.
boy. Okay. More teacher related ranting to come. Okay, everybody get ready. Waka waka. There you go. There's your Fozzie. Okay. We're paused at 2340 on 2340 remaining, I should say. 2340 remaining on Netflix. And we're going to get back into this. I'll count us in. Everybody get ready. And 3, 2, 1, play.
And the spinning spaceship again.
Don't forget, we're in space. It's some Murder, She Wrote shit, all right. A little pail the children used to build sandcastles with.
I'm feeling a little pale.
I wouldn't call Odo overly tan, but I don't think he's pale necessarily.
He is
Yes.
a little pasty, I think.
Yes, 255 AD and Darren, Odo does have DNA. All living things have DNA, even in Star Trek. Apparently.
She's not quite as well mannered as Jessica Fletcher.
How different would this show be if Jessica Fletcher was in Kira's role? First of all, a lot more people would die on the show.
It'd be kind of fun.
And then I remembered the 200th rule of acquisition. There would be lots of that, lots of Murder, She Wrote on Deep Space Nine.
Piss off.
Murder, She Logged, says Joe in the chat. That's perfect.
Just suck up to all the parents.
Female. $255 AD. It's later in the first season, I'm pretty sure, when the quote-unquote real Rom appears, yeah.
One of us. One of us.
Yes, he does have a name, David. She referred to him as Mr. Rom in this scene.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've tried to get him to kill people. He won't do it.
Even for money.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The
A
Apostle
mysterious
Paul?
hooded man.
Oh, he's got a little medical dustbuster.
It's a spectroscope. I learned about that on Monk. They take it and they go around and they find clues. And she says to Adrian, "We need a spectroscope." Geraldo Trekkie, exactly. He tries to CIS something.
Yeah. I love sucking nothing up into my little tube.
And looking at it significantly.
I'm sure they'll put something in here in post.
Yeah, you just take some hairspray and go squirt, squirt.
Not the reception I was hoping for, to be frank. They're all going to crowd onto that one elevator? I
They're
guess
very
so.
friendly.
Come on, everybody, pack it in. Let's go. It could seem like a conflict of interest.
Maybe he's just not smart enough to do that. I think I want to have that character written, but I'll spell it out differently, like Chnipple Guy.
Containing biological samples.
Moron. Good gravy. Apologies for the slur. Didn't mean it.
What business does he have doing medical experiments?
Why does he know sciencey stuff if he ain't a scientist? You know, I was thinking the same thing about Keiko. Why is she doing teachery stuff if she ain't a teacher? Just saying. Hey, AS, we're watching DS9. The episode where apparently Odo is being framed, as I'm been told. I ain't seen it before. Oh, he's getting called to the office.
You're in
That's
trouble
not
now,
good.
Odo. Well, because if Keiko is the teacher, then I guess Cisco is the principal. So Odo's getting called to the principal's office.
It's never good.
Yeah.
Ooh, blue bubbles.
Yeah.
Very significant.
Not on the floor, Odo.
Ooh. He's going for a double bluff.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? I did do it. I don't need you. I don't need anybody. I'm a man alone. Okay, everybody. 3, 2, 1, pause. There's yet another establishing shot of the station, just in case we forgot.
255 AD. When was this, first of all? I'm very curious when your mother was offered the principalship, because let me tell you, if it was last year, good on her. Holy smokes.
Yeah, really. And yeah, we're paused as for people who are just catching up. Dana and I are watching it on Netflix. I am paused at 14:48 remaining on Netflix. So that's the time code that we're at for those of you who need to catch up or want to make sure that we're synced up. So yeah, it's Murder, She Wrote in space, basically. And let me see. There was something in the live chat a minute ago. Oh, Kaylee in the live chat says, because Kira and Dax aren't also a conflict of interest. Yeah, or Cisco removes Odo from the investigation because Odo is a suspect, so it's a conflict of interest for the suspect to be investigating the crime. Makes perfect sense. But then they assign Kira, who is clearly one of Odo's best friends on the station, to investigate it instead, which is also a conflict of interest. But it's a show. I mean, there's only so many characters on the show, and they're not for the third episode of the series. They're not going to bring in some brand new character as like an outside investigator.
255 AD, yeah, it's a challenging job, and you don't get to teach. So there's that. So development, and how did somebody get into the locked room? And it makes it look like it's Odo and Boss.
And Bashir. This is, and remember, important for as the episode goes on. Bashir and the DNA that he vacuumed up from the quarters in the other ship, and that he put it in. Yeah, and he put the dish into the magic blue liquid. That's important as well.
Yes, that's important with the bubbles, the evil bubbles.
Yes.
They're all too tricky. Yes, just administrative. It used to be like the word principal comes from the phrase principal teacher, as in like the lead teacher of a school, but that doesn't happen so much anymore.
Yeah, and also, Daryl Trekkie, you asked a little earlier, did I watch the Pushing Up Roses review of the Murder, She Wrote Magnum crossover? No, but I do really like the Murder, She Wrote Magnum crossover. I've seen it because I'm a big fan of Murder, She Wrote. I'm a huge fan of Magnum PI. I love that crossover, but I did not watch that video, no.
Yeah, they're also tricky. You have to be really good at dealing with people, and you can't teach. You don't have time for it.
Yeah, 255 AD, that's a good point. There's something, 255 AD says, something I hate about actual cop shows. Non-cops are always in the wrong for not wanting the cops to do whatever they want. Yeah, or not trusting the cops. Like when civilians distrust the cops, it's usually portrayed as the civilian is being unreasonable. Like when cop shows want to establish that a particular cop is not to be trusted, they have to have one of the other cops, one of the good hero cops, mistrust them. Then we know I love
when if you're watching a cop show and they're like, well, we could get a warrant, and I'm just thinking, okay, I mean, we have a reason we could get a warrant, and I'm thinking, if this is my place, I'm like, okay, great, come back when you got one.
Cool,
bye.
Go get one. Awesome, thanks.
Or when you get pulled in and something's going on, and first question, am I free to leave?
Yeah, can I go?
Then do.
Can I go?
Don't you want to be helpful? I got like dishes and laundry to do. I'm gonna be helpful by folding the laundry. That's helpful to me.
Yeah. What is it? Well, it's like there's a great
It's not like it's my. This is your job,
Yeah,
not mine. It ain't my civic duty.
there's a great George Carlin bit from one of his last, I think it was from his last stand-up album, where he's talking about how like people shouldn't cooperate with the police, and he's like, let them solve their own goddamn crimes. Like,
For all we talked about how the firefighters will say, people are glad when we show up. I will say the one time I have called the police is when I found a trash fire at the park.
oh yes, you told me about this.
I called the fire department and nobody answered.
You hate for that to happen.
So that was that. So I had my smartphone. So I looked up the number of the police station because I happened to know that it was right next door to the fire station. I'm like, maybe they can go next door and knock on the door and say, hey guys, answer the phone.
There's a fire.
I called and they're like, well, why do you want the fire department? I'm like, because there's a fire. So
I just wanted to say hi. I just wanted to see how they were doing.
So actually the police officers came and they helped me. There was like a puddle, so I was like scooping it was a little fire. I was scooping water up from the puddle and putting it on the fire and like trying to get some dirt on top of it. I'm just like, look, this is not safe. It's like ashes and burnt stuff in the park. So they helped clean it up. So that was good.
Yeah. Chris Kringle in the chat says, we are currently putting out other fires. Thank you for calling the fire department. Your call is important to us. We are currently busy fighting other fires, and we'll get to you as soon as possible.
Our tax dollars at work, folks.
Yeah, really.
I will say, it ended up being taken care of. So thank you to, the folks that took care of it.
All's well that ends well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, things are complicated.
So, shall we jump back into this episode?
Yes, let's.
Everybody ready? Here we go. We are going to get back into this. Once again, I am paused at 14:48 remaining on Netflix. So I'm going to give us a count in and we will resume the episode. Everybody get ready. 3, 2, 1, play. Space. Murmur, murmur, murmur.
Way earlier. Was that like in another episode or is it something I missed?
I was in this episode.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah. Odo is a victim of a hate crime. Oh, God, no, they broke my whatever this was.
Significant look.
Loretta, that's a great point. They don't have a security camera in the security office that can tell them who did this. I'm sloppy already. I've been drinking all day.
They don't like it's secure. So maybe that's where they don't. They've only got a limited supply of cameras. This isn't a post-scarcity society after all. Oh wait, it is.
Actually, they could
could
just call up Starfleet and be like, "I need some more cameras." Cool.
Corey, the problem is that does not, unfortunately, seem to be their primary function. That's not the general expectation. It's that they'll afterwards catch the bad guys instead of us having a society that helps like people, meet their needs and not, feel compelled to do bad things that hurt other people. Rebel Johnny, what do you got against cotton?
It's the fabric of our lives.
Indeed. It's comfy.
Later.
Some random geek, the exception does not prove the rule. Alas. The problem is the rule, not the exception. We need a clue. Actually, it would be nice to have several.
More than one clue. Yeah, please. Find lots of clues.
Lots of clues. But if they had, the episode might be a lot shorter.
Yeah. Found all these clues. I know exactly what happened.
Okay, well, that's it. Roll credits. I don't understand why Cisco has so much difficulty with this. Like, Dax presents as female.
Yeah.
Like, it would
It's
make more
not
sense to me. It would make more sense to me if he kept forgetting that Dax actually is the same person.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not a new person.
It's not an ongoing issue. I mean, I think maybe they threw it in here just because it's early in the series and they want to remind us.
They want to establish it for
that
the
she
viewers.
used to be a man, because it's not a recurring issue.
They're older, Trekkie. That's pretty clever. I got that. Aw, Toby Benson. Oh, it's so painful. Oh gosh. There's like jealousy between like the commander and this guy who is like insecure about himself. It's so relevant. It's so relevant in ways that you don't understand yet.
Even Morn is leaving. Morn, why?
No, Steve is much older than 7. You can tell because he's got a beard. Et tu, Morus. Then fall Odo.
Oh, no, she's not in your class, honey. She's way too young.
Oh, you brought a present and it's even wrapped.
It came out of the magic hole in the wall like this. I didn't wrap it.
You don't say that. You totally take the damn credit.
Oh, sorry. Wrapped it myself, dear.
See, these are the lessons that you should have learned a long time ago.
Or else.
Jeez, where's the others? I mean, it's like a freaking mob.
I know. O'Brien's like, I'm not getting involved in this.
I told the replicator to wrap it myself. I even picked out the gray ribbon and the gray wrapping paper.
I told the
to make it
replicator to
special.
wrap it myself.
And torches. Light your torch, Roger Horch, screw your courage to the sticking place. We're counting on Odo to... Oh, wait, no, we don't want him to lead the way. We don't like him.
Oh, this is so exciting. It should be developing genitals any day now. Okay. 3, 2, 1, pause.
All right, are you guys ready? Check this out. Can you see it? Oh, you can't see it yet. I need to go even lower. Well, fine. Here.
Oh.
This is my bell.
Ooh, nice.
And look, it's got pink sparkles. It's got rhinestones on it.
Like a rhinestone school bell.
Barely even human there, Alter Trekkie. All right, so
Joe McClure. And why does a space station even have pitchforks?
well, they didn't have pitchforks, but they got them from the replicator. They're like, this is what we want.
There's a really great super anachronistic line coming up in the next scene that I remember.
Yes, some random geek. Actually, the first one was, the screw your courage to the sticking place. But although that is actually a reference to Shakespeare, it's from Macbeth.
Yeah.
And then Savages is from Pocahontas. So lots of Disney stuff going on because y'all know I love my Disney.
And Loretta Reyes says, aren't there ethical issues to growing this creature, the whatever it is that Bashir is growing? It may be sentient. And, of course, that comes up later on in this episode, and I believe there are I believe there are ethical issues. Yes, I don't think those ethical issues are really all that addressed, but yes, I think there are.
So this isn't actually a school bell, although it was given to me by my mentor teacher. This is my call for anything I want bell, which I got when I was sick. When I was like, okay, ding. You can hear it all through the house. It's great.
It's like when nobody is at the front desk.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a ding.
It's like, hey,
I got to use one on Monday when I turned in our absentee ballots.
Oh, your absentee ballots, yeah.
Yes, I turned them in. I voted again. Vote early, vote often. But only as often as is legal.
Yes, which is once for the most part.
Well, I mean, like once per election.
Once per election, not once in your whole life. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly. Vote in every election, but just once.
CLO 626 says it's a concierge bell, which is
absolutely
what it should be called.
Classy.
It's fun to say concierge.
Concierge.
I'm like moving my head more often than normal because it's like blah 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 blah.
Because you got pigtails.
They're not. It's like little poofs, and then like the little ratty bits.
Yeah.
So how did the mob rate shifter on the wall? Saw the writing on the wall. That's from Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
I would imagine somebody cut it into the wall with a phaser, like how Murdoch burned his name into MacGyver's fireplace in the second Murdoch episode, and he had like a torch and he just burned it into.
Or apparently a disruptor.
Yeah. A phaser or a disruptor. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, one of those. Somebody had a thing. They had a space thing, and they cut it into the wall with a space thing. They used space things.
I'm the concierge. My husband was the concierge, but he's dead. Now I'm the concierge.
Duralta Trekkie, yes. Murder's in the air under the Temple of Ra. Death awaits you on the final curtain. Exactly. The world's most obvious clue that MacGyver actually has to write down and circle before he gets it. Just because those of us in the audience are too
not as smart as MacGyver.
Yeah. So they have to make MacGyver as dumb as we are so that to make sure that we get it. He's like, let me see. Yes.
Yeah, my hair's not nearly as thick as Princess Leia's anymore. But then neither was Carrie Fisher's. So it's a wig, folks.
What?
Hey, they ain't anything wrong with hairpieces. I have
There's
several.
not a damn thing wrong with them.
They're fun.
They're
so much fun. And who cares if you kill a Cardassian these days? Ugh. The real racism is against white people these days. No. All right. I ain't got anything else.
Okay. So. And I believe this is the last segment, the one we're going into next. So everybody get ready to push play again. We're going to finish out this episode. I have 7 minutes 32 seconds left on Netflix for those of you who are looking for a time code. 7:32 remaining. And we're going to jump back into it. I'll count us in. 3, 2, 1, play.
Yelling and shouting. Both of them.
Both.
My subtitles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Murdering shifter.
Dumbass in the front. Hey, be less suspicious. Acrostics are not actually in our standards for, 10th grade English.
Oh, that's not, you're going to have to pay for that.
Are they, though? Aren't
No,
they
probably
like,
not.
Yeah, the whole money thing.
The whole money
It's
thing.
weird.
Although people on Deep Space Nine do use money. It's confusing. The Federation doesn't
Yeah, like
use money.
the gambling.
Yeah.
How do you gamble when nobody cares about money? It's definitely my God. I didn't know you were religious.
Wow. That's a big moment for you, Julian, meeting your God like that.
Pretty cool. His God is waiting to get Odo's soul.
Yeah. Well, that's that gods like to do that from time to time, I'm told.
So I hear. Wow.
They're chanting for him? Here you go. You want one of these?
And dramatic music. I heard it. Oh!
There's that anachronistic line I was talking about. As though they still hang people.
Well, he might have meant it like metaphorically.
He did. Of course he did. But I just love that line. And I love his grin, too, when he says that. His evil, smirk. Oh, he just killed somebody on the upper level.
Hope he's a better shot than that.
This is some Wyatt Earp shit. That, yes. Condemn him for a better reason.
Yeah, the evidence! The evidence!
What is the evidence?
We have a clue!
We found a clue, everybody! Yeah, some random geek. We are here to cancel Odo.
They are the Justice League. They're like a bunch of people getting together for justice.
Oh, Valak Heifer. That is a good point. We do see a hanging in a later episode. That's a good point. Chris Kringle. There ought to be clones.
Shut up, Becky. Shut up, Asher. That should be a thing.
Oh yeah, here we go.
All the time, Norman, apparently. Ay.
God, I gotta get this crap off.
Prosthetics. Dun, dun, dun. It's C-3PO. Oh, nope.
Oh, I think you know.
I am ship security.
Like the hell? Don't wear it out. Okay, you take the sass off my name when you say it.
Like, seriously, why? Why? Oh, I missed the heart. Ah.
Oh, here we go. Scooby-Doo. Sit in the back like one of the cool kids.
But I'm not a cool kid, Dad.
Cisco's out of there.
Tashi Station.
Yes. And that's it. And there we have it. So yeah, as far as what I think Kaylee brought up earlier about the ethics of cloning, yeah, this is as Cisco mentioned in his closing log entry, the clone that Bashir grew woke up and I guess just started a new life, and okay, sure, cool.
I mean, did he? Yeah, the ethics of cloning. I don't know. Did he do anything unethical? I mean, he started a new life.
I don't think he did anything unethical because he did. The episode makes it pretty clear that he didn't know what it was when he started to grow it. He just grew it to find out what it was because he figured it was relevant to the criminal investigation. So, you know.
255 AD and Azalea. That's all, of course, one of the things that different science fiction stories tell differently about what happens with clones that develop into fully adult bodies.
Yeah, and it's not really made clear. I mean, I think you could
really made clear. It's not addressed at all.
It's not. Yeah, it's not addressed because all we see I mean, if we assume that the clone only appears in the scene where he's murdered, then all the clone would need to know is that he wants to go get a massage on the holodeck, and then Ibodan, sneaks in and stabs him. So he could be starting with a clean slate. He may not have the memories of the host or of the donor, I guess you would say, at all.
No, but
but then again, he also
language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously the other clone did, but could have been sort of taught or programmed in some way. There's nothing. We got nothing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, absolutely. Absolutely. We're like, I don't know what this is going to do. Let's try it.
Exactly.
No, that's not good. Of course, we're not playing Call of Cthulhu here, so it'll be all right. Or Warhammer. Both of those, you just if you don't know what's going to happen, just don't do it. Just don't do it. So, yeah, Corey, that's not so much the issue, such as going with what memories, knowledges, and skills are in place. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and as Azalea points out, it's just one of the many Star Trek hand waves of potential issues. Yeah. But, I mean, Star Trek does that a lot. A lot of shows do that because that's not what the episode's actually about. Like they wanted the clone
to tell a story, a particular story.
And they wanted the clone thing to be the resolution to the murder mystery. And they thought, okay, we have an hour. We're not gonna delve into the philosophical issues. It's going to be a plot thing where it turns out it's the guy killing his own clone, and that's the solution. And the other stuff can be saved for fan conversations because it's not really relevant to the story of the episode.
25580 asks if I'm annoyed that we didn't get more of the school plot. No, I am relieved. If we could just like be completely done with that, that would be ideal.
The school figures very prominently into, but it's not. It's the final episode of season 1, so we're not going to get there for a while yet. But the final episode of season 1 is very, very involved. Like the school is the A plot of that episode. So,
Phooey.
Yeah, and I think it's referenced here and there.
I am going to share something in.
Yes.
Chat.
Yes,
no,
yes.
No,
not that's not the thing.
This is not the thing. So
Another thing.
This is a poem by one of my favorite poets, Taylor Molly. Steve, I've shared some of his work before with you.
Yes.
Tony Steinberg, Viking Warrior, and the impotence of proofreading.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
And I think a couple of others. This is one of his poems that has gone viral, although it's kind of gone viral as it not presented as poetry. And it's gone back in the days when things went viral over email, like way back in the day.
When you had to send people things directly.
Yes. So this is called What Teachers Make. And it starts out with him telling, and I am going to apologize, Mr. Molly, but I'll sort of intro it to encourage people to follow that link and watch him perform it on Slam Nation years and years ago. So he's at like a dinner party, and he's making polite conversation, and one of the other dinner guests says something like, I mean, you're a teacher, Taylor. Come on. Be honest. What do you make? And he says it's true what they say about teachers, that those who can do and those who can't teach. I mean, come on, Taylor, you're a teacher. Be honest. What do you make? And I decide to bite my tongue instead of biting his and refrain from saying that it's also true what they say about lawyers, because this is polite conversation after all. And so he goes into, you want to know what I make? And so it goes from there. And it's really, really good. And I highly recommend it. Yes, charity links. Thank you so much, Some Random Geek. And there's yes, Charles, it is a great poem. And Taylor Molly is a great poet. Really good, lots of fun, and a good performer too. So MacGyver falls off a building and nearly dies. How did you like that episode, Steve?
That's the one where, is it a building or no, yeah, he does fall off a building. Yeah, he falls off a building. And he has a vision of the afterlife. And it's an okay episode. It's sort of late. I think it's season 5 or 6. So the show was kind of off of its creative peak at that point. But yeah, it's a good episode.
Deralta Trekkie, I could, but honestly, I posted the link in chat to YouTube of him. It's free. It should be available for you.
Did the link show up in chat? Because I didn't see it.
Well, I hope it. Maybe I can't post links in chat.
Well, you should be able to.
Well, I should be able to. So it's for me. It shows up right below Loretta saying, "I wanted to see the lesson," and before Deralta Trekkie says, "It was a good episode."
Yeah, I don't see it.
Well, smokes.
Yeah, Deralta Trekkie says it didn't show up. Can you send it to me in Messenger, and I'll see if I can post it?
Fine. Give me a minute. Give me a freaking minute here, y'all. All right, so apparently I am not cool enough. All right. Do you think Bajorans who were profiteers during the occupations shouldn't have been let off? Hold on just a minute. So well, they certainly shouldn't have been allowed to keep the profit. I mean, okay, so that one I just sent to you in Messenger is what teachers make.
All right, I will.
I agree, Some Random Geek. Mods should be able to post links in live chat. Dadgummit. I guess I'm just not.
You
I'm
should.
not one of the cool kids.
It's true though. You should be able to share a link. I'm not sure why it wouldn't let you, or why it didn't show up. Let me see if it'll let me post it here. There. Can everybody see that?
Oh, I see a thing. See? So that one is to Mr. Molly's video of the poem. There it is. And this one that I'm going to send to Steve is not Mr. Molly. Oh, Lordy. Oh, Lordy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you see the title I gave it?
I do see the title you gave. Of course, I got a notification about it earlier, so I already saw the title. All right. So this next link I'm posting is the link to...
This is a surprise. This is the surprise.
Well, no, yeah, this is the surprise. This is a video where if you can't get enough of Harley Quinn here with us tonight, this is definitely for you.
Although it's not as much. It's not like an hour and a half.
No, but it's a treat. It's definitely a treat.
I hope you like it. Please don't be mean in the comments. Because, like, I want to keep my job, so I can't be mean back, and it's just not fair. I would totally be mean back.
You just delete the mean comments.
It's not the same. I'll just tell you all the things that I'd want to say.
I would, please do.
But I can't say it to them. It's not the same. It's not the same, Steve.
No, it's not the same. I could pretend that I'm them.
Deralta Trekkie, all you kind of do is you like tighten up at the sides and you go for kind of a Brooklyn thing in the back of the throat. You tighten up right here at the glottal area, and then at the sides of the face, you just sort of make like you're smiling really tight, and that's how you do it. Like part of it is like I don't go for a really high Harley voice, and then it's just my normal voice.
Yeah, it's the accent that really sells it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who turned out to be a murderer later?
Oh, yeah. The Ibudan, yeah.
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 Well, but no, he didn't turn out to be a murderer later. I mean, part of that was he already was a murderer. And the provisional government was like, okay, just go.
Yeah.
Steve, did the link already material?
Can you see it?
I can't see it.
You can't see it?
I can't see it. Like the first link.
You can see the first link, but
there it is.
You can see the first link, but not the second one?
I can't see the second one.
Okay,
is it showing up in your chat?
Yeah.
Well, of course it would, because you put it.
Yeah. Well, and some random geek says he can't see it. I'll post it again. See if you can see this. Why is it not letting me post links to you? And it's to a YouTube video.
You did one. You get one.
It's to a YouTube video. Why are they letting me post links to a YouTube video in a YouTube chat on my channel?
YouTube is just going crazy.
I know, right? So I just posted it again.
Nope, it's not showing up, dude.
It's not showing up? What the hell?
I don't know, man. We're just having all kinds of technical difficulties.
I don't care for that. I don't care for that at all.
Steve?
Yes?
You know what you need to say?
What do I need to say?
I don't like it.
I don't. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Can you put it in the description?
Yes, I can. Yes, Darren did a mod. Yes, a mod banned me from my own chat.
It was me.
No.
I'm the one that banned Mr. Steve Shives.
Damn it to hell.
YouTube wants to censor you because they don't want to hear all the interesting things you got to say. Not that there's very many of those, but, once in a while. We're going through two different works of it. We are with characters called Odo.
Yes, that's true. What a coincidence. All right, I just added the link to Dana's Harley Quinn video in the video description. So if you refresh, you should see it in the video description, and you can watch it.
I'm serious, says the link shows up.
And you can watch it there.
All right, so final thoughts. It was pretty interesting. The teacher thing ticked me off. I can say that. That's not a wordy nerd. It ticked me off.
Deralta Trekkie,
I can tell you that ain't gonna happen.
No, that's not gonna happen for a variety of reasons. Okay, see, some
Dude,
random
if I
geek
was
just
gonna-
did everybody see some random geeks posting of the link? Because he can post it. That's
How come some
awesome.
things like that, and
I
I
don't
can't.
know.
That's
What's up with that?
I
But anyway,
object to that.
I well
Although,
as
thank you,
long
Some
there it
Random
is.
Geek. Some
Yes,
Random Geek is like he's like the link king. He's
yes.
like the link master.
Thank you, some random geek, for posting it in the chat. I'd have no idea why it worked for you and not for either of us, but there it is.
But there it is.
So everybody go watch it. It's a great video. Yeah. Now, 255 AD, that's an interesting question. Is an unqualified teacher better or worse than learning at home from a computer?
There's too many variables there. 255 AD depends on the resources that are there at the school. Because if you have a computer at the school, then it doesn't matter if you have an unqualified teacher. That's basically unfortunately where I am now. That's what a substitute is. They don't have to have like teaching credentials. But some random geek. I haven't modded you because I haven't needed to. I don't need any mods. I don't have like,
You haven't done any
got,
live
like,
streams yet.
7 videos of what we freaking do. I can't live stream because I've got like, this much. Unqualified teacher isn't necessarily bad, but can be.
It depends on how unqualified and
Yeah. And learning at home from a computer, that depends entirely on the student. If a student wants to learn, then there's very little that can stop them from learning. And if the student doesn't want to learn, having an unqualified teacher, but not necessarily a bad teacher, would be better than being at home and having just a computer. Because an unqualified teacher, still there's the possibility that this person cares and can encourage the student. And for a student who doesn't want to learn, that can make a difference. They call 255 AD, they call her a teacher. And if she's, that's especially watching that this semester, when it's felt like, for me, part of the reason that we've gone back to in-person school is so that children would have adult supervision when their parents had to go back to work. Yeah. Because they couldn't afford their rent, their utilities. They were, they needed money and they weren't getting it from nowhere else. And so we're glorified babysitters in a sense. And that's not cool.
No, not at all.
So lecturing, Corey, is not the same as teaching.
No, anybody can lecture.
Charles, that's entirely true. There are the larger your group size, the more likely that some of the group members are going to be crappy. And however, I would suggest that given a similarly sized group of qualified teachers and a group of unqualified teachers, you're going to find more crappy ones in the unqualified, untrained, unpracticed, inexperienced bunch. Just a thought. Just my opinion, but it's based on experience.
Yes, your opinion as a veteran teacher. Yeah.
Let's see. One man can make a difference, possibly.
Duralta Trekkie busting out the Knight Rider references tonight. I appreciate that. Michael Knight,
Haven't schools always been that under capitalism to an extent, says 255 AD? I don't remember what that referred to. Crappy? I don't know. Give me more information.
I guess meaning like glorified babysitters?
Not necessarily. Depends on the school. Depends on the community. Again, these are public schools, and that's one of the things that I say pretty often is that's what it means to be to have public education. You get the education that you're willing to support as a public, as a community. So schools are, at least in the United States, schools are funded primarily by the state. But the state gives each community a lot of leeway in how the school is managed. Not like complete leeway, like you have to have reading and you have to teach kids to read. That's like a thing. Um, I don't think it's always that way. I think it's been much more that way this fall than it's ever been in my lifetime, ever, than I've ever seen it, either as a teacher or as a student, ever. Oh God.
By the way, Geralta Trekkie says Kit as the computer on the space station. That might have been fun. I agree 100%. Michael, I'm detecting a large Dominion fleet coming through the wormhole.
I think probably Philip Kehoe says, I think they don't have gender identities either. Who don't? Oh,
The
changelings.
shapeshifters, okay. Yeah. The founders, Odo's people. I don't think it doesn't make sense that they would, but it also seems like when we see them, like when we eventually meet other shapeshifters later in the series, when they are in sort of their default humanoid form, they do seem to always be the same gender. They sort of choose like the person that we meet who is eventually revealed to be the leader of the shapeshifter, the leader of the founders. She doesn't even, her character never even is given a name. She's just referred to as the female changeling. Now, whether that's just for ease of just referring to her as something, or whether that's meant to indicate that she actually has a particular gender, who knows? But yeah, it would make sense if they didn't have gender, at least as we understand it, because their natural form is just like a goo, but maybe the goo has a gender, who knows? Darren Hill, maybe that was the Pepperidge Farm voice. I mean, I'm not the most skilled impressionist, as you may have noticed. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Actually, because I didn't do. There's not like I can't do a vocal filter with Kit, so it would have to be like Michael. Michael, Gul Dukat is arming the weapons on his ship. Something like that.
Something like that. Random Geek says that schools do serve a purpose to condition students to obey authority, like the teacher in a way. And they do that, of course, by giving authority figures power to impose consequences. But at the same time, that means that as a teacher or an authority figure, you have the opportunity to provide students with the chance to question authority, and that's a natural part of growing up. That is part of human development, is exploring where the boundaries are and what happens when you push them and what happens when you cross them, and finding out what those consequences are. And I do think that it is part of the job of a school to expose children, to what happens when you cross boundaries in a safe way. To have not just natural consequences, but artificial consequences for their actions, because they're going to face that out in the real world, out in our larger society. And, when students in my classroom very occasionally do something that requires me to write them up. Like if they do something, normally it doesn't happen, but sometimes with documentation, usually it's not doing work. I have to say, I've talked to this student. I have talked to the parent. I am writing the student up for, refusing to saying, I'm just not going to do my work, or for saying they're going to do their work and not doing it. I need to follow this procedure. And I let them know. I literally have walked a student up to the principal's office and said, I'm not angry with you or anything, but this is the procedure that we have to follow. And I've let you know that. So here you go. And so they see that I am consistent in what I say I will do and do it. 255 AD asks, Geralta Trekkie, I see your question. 255 AD asks how I feel about school uniforms. They're pretty much universal in the UK. I am not entirely against school uniforms. It depends. It can be a way to provide, especially if you can get like some kind of deal on it. They're cheaper for parents, and you get hand-me-downs and stuff. I am anti-dress code, like severely. I think that what people, the limits on what people should be allowed to wear should be based on safety, and like that's it. Like, because we have shared seats please make sure that your back, and your backside and your like thighs, the backs of your thighs are covered, because otherwise you're like leaving sweat and skin cells and things behind. Other than that,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. They're also, so other than that, you know, it's a thing. And often it sadly, it becomes the case for, you know, schools to, hold on just a moment. I've got my phone ringing. Probably a case of COVID.
It's probably a case of COVID. Yeah, we're probably going to wrap up the stream pretty soon anyway, but we'll wait for Dana to get back from answering the phone. Oh, here she comes.
Folks, I'm old-fashioned and I have a house phone with a landline. My goodness gracious. So Daryl Trekkie says, do the students in your class bully each other? So the way it has not happened to my knowledge, because one of the things that makes teaching challenging to do well is that it requires absolute vigilance at all times. And it's exhausting. You just have to pay attention all the time to everything that's going on around you. And students are occasionally unkind to each other, but I will absolutely jump down their throats for that. That's not okay. I will let them know that they are not supposed to cuss. I am not supposed to cuss. And I demonstrate that behavior by saying things like, you know, I think that what thus and such happened is absolute, like you can kind of see in the Harley Quinn video, absolute nonsense, or it's ridiculous. And I will use, I would love to be Batgirl. But I'm not cool with students I would much rather have students cuss than have them be unkind to each other. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Right. But I will say that in my experience, what happens with bullies is that it's little things. And when it's really hard for a student is when it's not when they have someone who bullies them, but when they have like a lot of different students who this person says one thing and that person says one thing and that person says one thing and that person says one thing. And it just feels like it's coming from everywhere and nowhere all at once. So you can't say that person is bullying me. Here's all the things that they did. It's that everyone's mean to me and nobody likes me. And that's really hard. So I've had students tell me that they're being bullied. It doesn't happen very often, you know, for me. And so far what I've said is, what I'll always say is, have you asked this person to stop what they're doing? And no one has said yes. So I say, we have two options at this point. You can ask them to stop, or I can ask them to stop. I'm going to encourage you to ask them to stop because I feel that that's empowering for you. If you're not comfortable doing that, I will totally ask them. Once you ask them to stop, you say, I don't like this behavior. I want you to stop doing this thing. If they either refuse to stop or they say they'll stop and then they don't, you come to me. It will stop. I promise you. And each time, it's happened 3 times in my career. And each time the person has gone over to the other person, said something, and then they've come back and said, they said they thought. And then it just wasn't an issue. In my experience, most students who feel that they're being bullied, if it's one person, that other person just thinks they think they're so clever, and they're just not. They're just not. Random Geek says, how do I feel about a student getting in trouble with the school for factually correcting a teacher? Even the teacher says, well, the student's correct. So it depends on how the student did it and how the situation continued, because sometimes something that is not actually a problem can escalate into a problem. And so that's, you know, it's an opportunity to learn about consequences and systems and how they work. So, you know, without more details than that, I'll just leave it there. What does teacher training actually involve? Actually, no, I don't have a degree in English. I literally have a degree and a master's in English education. So my degree is in education. So teacher training involves learning about human development, like mental development, and sort of what people are generally able to do at different stages in their lives. And what, the history of schooling and what we, why we do the things we do, and historically why we've expected the things that we've expected, as well as psychology, different strategies for dealing with different behavioral issues, how to develop instructional materials, how to find instructional materials, all those sorts of things. Geraldo Trekkie, yes, that was the same thing that I dealt with as a student, and it's really hard. Like it's so hard. 255 AD. Hey, I'd love if you would ask your mom, and I would love to hear like how it's different from what I went through in the late 90s into the early 2000s. They're ultra Trekkie in that case. Once you ask them to stop once, and then you go to the teacher and you say, I have asked them to stop. They have said they're not going to. What do you plan to do about this? Especially if it's happening in the classroom. If that kind of thing, and here I'm using my school appropriate words, if that kind of thing is happening in my classroom, I want to know about it. If I'm not seeing it, I hope I'm seeing it. But if it's happening in my classroom, you let me know, and I will make sure to stop it. It's not okay. Not okay. Source of the Tristan Johnson Incentive Schooling After Capitalism. Random Geek, will you send that to me? Because I'm still going to be answering questions in chat. I guess we should probably wrap it up, but I love.
We can answer a few more questions. Yeah, as long as they want to. Yeah, as long as you can hang out.
Or if you'll send that to me on Facebook Messenger, I'd love to see that later. The teacher training yes, it varies depending on the age group. Absolutely. So at the secondary level, you get more training in, like, you have to take more. I had to take more English classes, more classes in literature. I had to take more writing classes so that I would be familiar with my subject matter. Additionally, it's more about, so for example, for me, I am an English education major, not just a general education major, because I teach all English classes. Whereas somebody who is at the middle school level tends to specialize in like 2, maybe 3 areas. And then at the elementary level, you got to teach it all. Like all of the academic stuff. You phys ed, physical education is separate, and music and art are separate. Those are their own things. But the gen ed teachers are like, they teach social studies and science and math and English all together, not like at the same time, but they have to be ready for all of it. And so at the high school level, you have to know more about your subject matter. So you also have to know more, like in my case, I have to know more about the development of writing, like not just how to teach students how to like make their letters, but also looking for patterns in student work and identifying where their struggles are and how to move forward from there. So Geraldo Trekkie, I would say, he says, asking teachers to do something about it would not help, because then they say, you can't help yourself. So, we'll just bully you even more. In that case, I would think about, I would hope that you would have in your life an adult who can help. Find that person, whether it is a family member or a member of the community or some other teacher, a teacher that you don't even have, but that you have interacted with and that you trust, and tell that person. And even if that person can't do something about it, talking with that person can hopefully help you develop strategies that can help you deal with it. Because sometimes I have students who have problems in their lives that are not directly related to my classroom, and I can't do anything about it. And so, but having them talk to me, I can say, well, what can you learn from this situation? What options are available to you? And of those options, which one's the best and why? Remember when I was in character as Harley? Well, let me tell you, Harley Quinn is not a teacher. You know who is a teacher? Dr. Jill Biden.
Yes.
Oh,
full circle.
Steve.
Yes,
You know what?
yes.
Do you know what she teaches? She's an education professor. Like I could go and get I could get my doctorate in education from the First Lady.
She teaches teaching.
Yes.
Well, you know what you need to move to Washington D.C. so you can get your doctorate from her. Is she or is she going to teach in D.C. or is she going to teach in Delaware still?
Well, it's not Georgia.
Well, I know, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not,
So, um, yes, Charles. Oh, Charles, tell me more about your teaching experience. Yeah, elementary teachers are early. There's early childhood education, and there's also elementary education. So, yeah, and absent Chris, I mean, we talk about the sort of it does take time for things to change in education. Um, as a teacher, when something is just like, okay, we're going to do this thing instead, it's just like, okay, where's the research that supports this? What are the outcomes? Why are we doing this? I want to know. I want to understand what I'm doing so that I can do a good job with it. And when something is foisted upon us really fast, I get stressed. So.
Geralta Trekkie wants us to cosplay as the Avengers, as John Steed and Emma Peel, and asks, "Do I have a bowler hat?" I do not, but
I used to have a bowler hat. Well, I used to
if-
have it. It actually belongs to my younger brother, and I've since given it back to him.
if Dana will get the Emma Peel catsuit, I will get the John Steed bowler hat.
Steve, I am a teacher, not a
know.
famous YouTuber. I ain't got that kind of money just to like toss around. I ain't even got money to go get my doctorate from
Dr. Jill Biden.
Dr. Jill Biden.
And of course, some random geek has a bowler hat. Of course he does.
Of course, it is. Yes, I see it in your picture. It's
yes,
right
yes,
it's right there.
And yes, David. Yes, the 1960s
And
TV
Dave,
Avengers, not
I was
the comic
like,
book
wait,
Avengers.
Avengers, and I'm looking through. I'm like, oh yeah, those ones.
Yeah, the Diana Rigg, Patrick McNee Avengers. Yes.
So, if you go to get qualified as an elementary school teacher, the person teaching it will have Jill Biden qualification. Depends what you mean by it. I mean, a lot of my classes, especially the early ones, were taught by TAs. Let's be honest. I mean, you go to your first level college courses, and it's somebody that they're a student too. They're just a higher level than you are. They've been studying longer. It's perfectly legitimate. See, that's as a teacher, that's what we do. We're like, I understand. I understand that mistake. Here's what you were thinking, and here's why, and here's what we were going for. And here's why you made the mistake you did. It makes this is good. It shows your thinking. You were paying attention. You went in not the direction we were intending, and that whoever it was intending, and that makes perfect sense. And that helps us resolve the issue.
Ta-da!
All right, so thank you so much, everybody. I've yacked a lot.
that
and we're now
was
past 2 hours into when we were supposed to start. I'm so sorry we started late.
Yeah. The show went so well. I totally forgot about those technical difficulties that we
2:55. Don't even
started.
freaking go there. Don't. I will.
Yeah. 25580. I would be shocked if that is the kind of first lady she turns out to be.
She's actually she has stated her intention.
She's going to
continue
teach.
Teaching.
Yeah.
And then somebody else, I think I've seen it said that, she's not going to be a first lady who stays at the White House. I'm like, well, I hope she is next semester because we still got that. But that was the other thing.
Yeah, really.
I'm like, can you imagine like taking classes that she's like streaming from the freaking White House?
She's like distance learning from the White House.
Distance learning from the White House. That would be so cool.
And what if like she's on her laptop in the Oval Office and Biden is like at the Resolute desk behind her talking on the phone and she's like, hey, Joe, I'm teaching my class. Thanks, honey.
I'm making a difference in the future of America, Joe.
You can talk to the Prime Minister later. He'll call you back. You're the president, honey.
Wouldn't Geralta Trekkie, wouldn't it be first gentleman? I mean, we don't say first woman, we say first lady.
Yeah.
First gentleman, presumably. Oh my God, the first lady gave me an F. I'm so honored. I would be honored to get an F from the first lady.
Yeah. Because the F stands for first lady.
Yes, exactly. All right.
Absinthe Chris says Joe is also a teacher. Yeah, but he's going to be busy. I don't think he's going to have time to teach classes when he's the president.
Yeah, it's kind of like becoming a principal, like going into administration.
He's going to be the principal of the country for the next 4 years, so he can't. Maybe he'll fill in every once in a while. If somebody doesn't show up and he needs to cover a class, maybe he can fill in.
He's the sub.
He's the sub. All right, yeah. Let's call this to a close. This has been a really great show. So I hope you all enjoyed it. We will be back. Dana and I will be back on Friday.
Yes.
For the next chapter of Readaway. We'll be.
I didn't leave the book at the school.
Well, you can. The show's not till Friday.
Nope.
Oh wait, no. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to be reading the next. We'll be talking about.
We're talking about it. Have you read it yet?
We'll have read it. No, I haven't read it yet. I'm going to read it tomorrow. We'll have read it by then. But we'll be talking about chapter 4 of the Dispossessed. That's on Friday, and then Monday is my next conversation stream. It's actually the last. It's actually the last conversation stream of the year because of the holidays. So it'll be me and Dr. Christy Winters, and and then a week from today, Dana and I will be back together again for the next Trek Reluctantly. We'll be watching the next episode of Firefly. So, and then a week from this Friday will be my next Ask Away. So that's what's going on as far as live streams for the next couple of weeks on this channel. Don't
forget to talk about the charity links.
Yes. Oh, charity links. Thank you very much. Yes, we have. Don't forget to check out the charity links in the description of this video. Just some links to various crowdfunding sites and PayPal links and stuff that our pal Some Random Geek has put together to help out some friends of ours who need a helping hand. And also don't forget, if you missed it earlier, Dana's Harley Quinn video is also linked in the description. Go watch Dana's Harley Quinn video where she responds in character to the Wall Street Journal op-ed about how we're not supposed to call Jill Biden doctor. It's really, really great.
And I only swear a very teeny tiny little bit, I promise.
It's a really good video. And go check that out and check out the charity links. And we'll see you back here on Friday.
Mixon asks, yes, I have. I've read Earthsea. Steve has not.
I have not.
We're starting off with the Dispossessed.
That's
Bye,
right.
everybody. I had lots of fun.
So did I. I'm glad we had some teacher related discussion, which it's relevant to the episode because there was teacher stuff in the episode. So.
They're also Trekkie. I could if I gave it some time, but we've been here for like 2 hours.
All right, we're out of here, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Friday for Read Away. Bye.